Hey everyone, welcome to Gilded Reviews. Today we are going to go back a bit and take a look at Elite Dangerous. Over the course of the last few years, the Elite Dangerous expansion Horizons has brought many new features, but most recently came the arrival of the infamous Thargoid race. The Elite Dangerous team has been testing this for a while now, demonstrating the Thargoid's superior weaponry in cutscenes and in-game goodies. But now the time is here. Doing this has brought many players back, but is it enough to keep them around? ED is one of the few games that could be considered an actual space simulator, but its long grind and sometimes monotonous gameplay has led to some surprisingly negative reviews. On the other hand, the size, scope, and the unmatched design of this game will bring many enthusiasts to its defense. So let's go ahead and jump into Frontier Development's overly ambitious space simulator, Elite Dangerous. Now, Elite has been around for a very long time. The first game was released all the way back in 1984, but the newest iteration debuted December of 2014. They had extremely ambitious plans, and many of them have finally come to fruition. Over the course of the last 3 years, they have added a tremendous amount of content through DLC labeled as Season Passes. Supposedly, they will continue to release these Season Passes in succession. We are at the end of the first Season Pass, Horizons. This added planetary landings, engineers, guardians, commanders, and the return of the Thargoids. These updates brought many improvements to the game, but many people thought that this should have been included in the original. Many people, including myself, found Elite Dangerous after the hype of Star Citizen and No Man's Sky. The promises of these titles drove me into a new genre of games I didn't even know I was interested in. After waiting for what seemed like forever for both of these titles to be released, I started to look elsewhere and found Elite Dangerous, and I'm glad I did, as Star Citizen is still not out, and well, we all know what happened with No Man's Sky. I was awestruck by the overall scale of this game, and surprised that I had not looked at it closer before. I was originally turned off by the overall mixed reviews on the title, but after booting it up, I understood that this game just isn't for everyone. It is for me though, and I will get into that more later, but now, let's go over some of the basics. The year is 3303, and we are, as a species, exploring the Milky Way. This game takes place 45 years after the previous title, Frontier: First Encounters. Mankind has already established colonies all throughout the galaxy. You are just a small commander trying to make a living by any means necessary. I normally don't spend too much time on the music or sound effects of a game. I personally feel that they should do one thing: add to the game. This is not usually noteworthy. I normally just make sure it isn't super repetitive and makes sense for the scene. In Elite Dangerous, however, that is a completely different story. How the sound engineers managed to create this masterpiece is beyond me. Every sound in this game is on point, and not just in the way that it should be. The sound has depth and seriously brings a new level to what I expect from a game's soundtrack. The art is really no different. From the detailed overlays to the ship's impressively designed components, this game is breathtaking. Overall, the art and animations are great, at least until you land on a planet. I have no idea why they did this. I mean, I understand planetary landings, but seriously, bring in some better algorithms for random generation. Every planet I have been to looks the same, like a big moon with craters and nothing else. This was a huge missed opportunity. They could have put something in that was very basic to add a little variety, but they didn't. Any planet that remotely looks cool, you simply cannot land on. Maybe this will be the focus of the next season's DLC. I'm not sure, but I feel like if they had more lush environments on these planets, the game would have been much better, and kept a lot more people around. With music and art out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the controls. Now, the controls are where I think the game starts to turn players off. When you are dealing with a serious space simulator, you are going to have a massive amount of controls. This is not a 5-button game, and investing in serious hardware can give you a real advantage. Now, don't take me the wrong way. You can easily play these games with a mouse and keyboard, or better yet, any dual stick controller, but in reality, these games really benefit from a 6 degrees of freedom setup. This can be accomplished a number of ways, but almost always requires the user to purchase something out of pocket. What I mean by this is the ability to control all 6 degrees. You have forwards and backwards, up and down, left and right. In addition to those, you also have rotation with pitch, yaw, and roll. These are just the different pressure-sensitive buttons you will need to know to move your ship in the utmost efficiency. In addition to this, you also have weapon groups, landing gears, cargo scoops, frame shift drives, silent running, and much more. And because of this, the more die-hard fans get themselves set up with a HOTAS system. These setups can run anywhere from $35 all the way up past $500 bucks. If you plan on getting one, just make sure you do your research. There are some that are just more suited for airplane and helicopter simulators. Some even take it a step further and rig up 2 joysticks and a flight pedal system so they can control the yaw or speed of their ship with their feet, leaving them 2 joysticks to fly circles around their enemies. Now, I personally use the X56 flight sticks from Saytech, which are okay but not the best. I know it all sounds overwhelming, but not all of this is necessary, and many commanders make do with a normal keyboard and mouse setup. Getting used to the keyboard and mouse isn't bad, it just takes time. And that's really what Elite is all about. Time. Everything in this game takes time. The grind is really what it's all about. I will do my best to go over what this game has to offer, but the sheer scale is almost unfathomable. There is no way any one person will be able to see or do everything. After 200 plus hours, I still have yet to see all of the different aspects of the game. For instance, there is an entire power play system in place with factions and leaders whom you can pledge allegiance. Participating in this will bring some great rewards, but it also changes the entire way you play the game. On the flip side of that, you can choose to ignore it and work for whoever you want, which is how I've gone about my time in Elite. After that much time in, I have finally now started to really look at the power structure and think about what I want to do. This all came after exploring the game's many different professions. They have miners, bounty hunters, couriers, cargo haulers, thieves, assassins, scavengers, explorers, and you can even take passengers out and show them the galaxy for a handsome reward. Now, these aren't really professions, they kinda are, but they are more the types of missions you can get. And that's based on what type of ship you currently have, so having more than one kind of ship will leave you access to more kinds of missions. There are also many more, but honestly, they all kind of start to feel the same. This is where Elite can get a bit grueling. There is always something to do, but usually it's just flying from one area to another. You can, of course, choose to attack NPCs and do bounty hunting, which is a ton of fun, but can also get a bit boring. The reason these get boring isn't because they are not fun. In fact, traveling around and doing missions is a blast. It's how many missions you need to do to get anything accomplished that's the problem. This takes me back to my original point, time. Doing anything in ED takes a lot of time. Even traveling from mission point to mission point can take 2 hours of jumps if you don't have an upgraded ship. The ships also take forever to get. I don't want everyone to get the wrong idea. This game is great. It just is built for a specific type of person. I personally fall right into that category. Any game that allows you to watch TV while playing is a win in my book. I love throwing up Netflix while grinding away mindlessly at easy to accomplish tasks. At least some of the time. The overall addictiveness of this game is built on that feeling of accomplishment. It does this by really making you work for what you want. In doing that, they have found a loyal fan base that has dedicated thousands of hours to this game, which you can easily do if that's your kind of thing. I wish I had more time to get deeper into it because this game has so much to offer. The cost to gameplay ratio is really based on if you enjoy space simulators, or simulators in general. This game is very slow, and at $30 for the original game with 30 more for the expansion, it can seem a bit steep, especially since it's been out for 3 years already. But if you enjoy these types of games, you will easily get hundreds of hours out of it, which is well worth it for me. Remember, taking the time to get used to the controls is key. Once you have done that, the game becomes much less challenging and you can focus on what role you want to take in the galaxy. Now, just who is this game for? This game is perfect if you enjoy space epic, sci-fi, or simulation games. Getting to the point where you are able to take on 2 or 3 people at once is difficult, but it is an experience you will not forget. You just have to stick it out. The beginning is grueling and can really turn people away from everything this game has to offer. On a side note here, like I said, this game is massive, and in order to go over everything, I would need at least an hour. So here are a few things I will run through to try and save us some time. If you guys have any questions about any of this, feel free to ask in the comments, and I will try my best to answer them. Let's start with virtual reality. This game is perfect in VR. Everything about the game seems to be built for VR. The experiences I have had in Elite while playing in VR are some of the best I have had in a video game ever. Secondly, the multiplayer. Playing it is a lot of fun, but getting everything synced up can be confusing and the rewards are a bit lacking. This may have changed with the most recent patch, however. Third, the Horizons DLC. I did not cover this much, and that mostly has to do with the fact that a lot of these features just add a few new things to do in the game. But this is the overview. Landing on planets is fun, and the SRV is a blast to drive once you get used to it. It comes with a mounted turret that you can hop in and control while you're driving the SRV. The issue with this is I have not found any other SRVs available, just the one, and it's rather crap to be honest. The engineer system is cool, but I really haven't found a serious reason to pursue them. The benefits are minimal, however it is nice to have something else to do. With Hollow Me and the Commanders, I really think this part of the Season Pass is more to set up something in the future. Maybe we will be able to get out and explore on foot rather than sitting in our ship or SRV. I am not sure, but it allows you to customize your commander and it seems to be geared for multiplayer, allowing other commanders to board your ship and take the galaxy on with you. With the Guardians patch, they allowed you to take new ships that had docking bays with fighters you could send out to have more ships fighting with you on your side. And with the last patch, they brought in the Thargoids, which really is happening right now. And the last thing I wanted to bring up that I wasn't able to touch on in the review was that there are many ways to get money coming in pretty fast, and there are some tricks that seasoned commanders can help with. And the best way to get this information is through the Steam guides or forums online. Looking things up can really make grinding easier. This is another difficult title for me to grade. I love this game with all of its flaws. It can be difficult to pick up after 200 plus hours, but I am still finding new things to do and I am always trying to get better ships. The addition of the Thargoids has been entertaining, but I am really waiting for them to be fully introduced. Since the release, at least at the time of this video, they have only been seen in one small pocket of space. They seem to be looking for something, going through wreckage of human ships, but they are not really aggressive yet. If you attack them, you will lose. They are pretty much indestructible. I guess a few really high-level commanders have been able to damage them, collecting some debris to turn in for supposed research into more effective weapons. When all this is concluded, I have a feeling we will really see what the Thargoids have in store for humanity. Until then, I really suggest staying away. The ships are awesome looking and the sound effects added to them are again amazing, but hopefully they will be everywhere soon, and by then maybe we will have some way to defend ourselves or destroy them. Anyways, back to the grading. If you enjoy grinding, a never-ending game, or want the chance to be part of an ever-growing space epic, this game is perfect for you. People fascinated with space and exploration will feel right at home in the cockpit, and will be able to look forward to many more updates in the future. On the other hand, if time is a factor and you really are looking for something to get right in and have fun, you might want to look elsewhere. This game is great, but really does appeal to a smaller group of people. The pros of Elite Dangerous are its beautiful graphics and sound quality, its endless star systems to explore, a real sense of freedom, and most importantly, it really gives you that feeling of accomplishment that unfortunately many games have lost over the years. On the con side of things, the controls are a bit much to get used to for the average gamer, the planets are too barren, and the overall time it takes to do pretty much everything is daunting. If they were to have streamlined a few of the processes, or maybe gave more credits for missions, things would have been a lot easier for newer players. It is almost like the game wants you to suffer through the beginning to prove you are worthy for its epic endgame. Overall, I would give Elite Dangerous a 7.8 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. We are a new channel just trying to get some gaming videos and reviews out there. If you enjoyed watching, give us a thumbs up or click on our icon to subscribe. It really helps us out. We release videos like this every few days.